The following people interviewed in this documentary have given permission to be recorded and have signed a release form. All opinions stated from people interviewed in this documentary is of their own opinion, and nobody else's.
Hello, I'm Zach Coleman-Shortis.
My name's Elijah Buckland.
This is
The Voice of Melbourne.
Voice of Melbourne.
Today, we're going to answer a very hot topic in today's society. Zach, can you tell us that topic,
Yes.
please?
Do you think smoking should be banned in Australia or become an illegal drug?
What do you think, guys? Do you think that it causes more problems than solving problems? It's a big topic.
It is, but we're going to answer them right now.
But, well, the main objective of the show is to find out the opinions of people in Melbourne. But before we show you the opinions, I'm gonna tell you some facts on a slideshow. Okay?
Some interesting.
And then we come to the interviews.
Yes.
And at the very end, we have Bill Ponticus, who's a council member of Oakleigh, and he is kind enough to give us an interview.
We are going to tell you some fun facts.
And show you some pictures relating to those facts. But before I give you the facts, I am going to tell you the ingredients in cigarettes. Now, sit down and relax and watch this beautiful slideshow with a voiceover, which we have put together. Tar. This ingredient, which gives cigarettes flavor, is the same thick black substance used to pave roads and driveways. Formaldehyde. This is the same chemical used to preserve dead animals, like the frogs dissected in some biology classes. Cyanide is used in mining, as well as electroplating, metallurgy, jewelry, and photography. It is also a main ingredient in rat poison. Acetone, a common ingredient found in paint and nail polish remover. Ammonia. Besides the fact that it's in many household cleaners, it's also in cigarettes. Hydrazine, a chemical used in jets and rockets.
I would keep naming all the chemicals, but there's over 4,000.
That's right, over 4,000 chemicals.
And 69 of them are proved to cause cancer.
That's right, 69 chemicals
69.
of those can cause cancer.
And will kill you unless you get them cut out.
Okay, so stop smoking. Okay, now it's time for the facts. Smoking addiction starts at a young age. More than 80% of adult smokers begin smoking before 18 years of age. Smoking ages your skin faster. It's second only to sun exposure for giving you wrinkles. Tar, a sticky brown substance in tobacco products, stains smokers' fingers and teeth. Smoking is linked to slowed growth of lung function in teens. They cannot run as fast or far. Smokers suffer from shortness of breath 3 times more than non-smokers. Tobacco abuse harms every organ in the body. It has been linked to leukemia, cataracts, and pneumonia, and accounts for about 1/3 of all cancer deaths. People who smoke cigarettes are 20 times more likely to develop lung cancer than non-smokers. Every year, secondhand smoke causes more than 202,000 asthma episodes and 790,000 doctor visits due to ear infections. More deaths are caused each year by tobacco use than by HIV, illegal drug use, alcohol use, motor vehicle injuries, suicides and murders combined. On average, smokers die 13 to 14 years earlier than non-smokers. Nicotine is a drug found naturally in tobacco. It's as addictive as heroin and cocaine. It takes only 8 seconds for nicotine to reach the brain. Now it's time
For the Voices.
of Melbourne.
Yeah, no, altogether, so it would become an illegal drug.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
And what are the reasons for that?
I think people should have a choice.
Yeah. Okay.
So you should be allowed to smoke in a public place, but in an enclosed space, it shouldn't be allowed. But in a public place, if you're going to ban smoking, well then where does it stop?
Yeah.
Surely then it's going to progress on to alcohol,
Yeah.
and ultimately then the internal combustion engine will have to be next.
Yeah.
So we should allow people a choice.
Okay. Do you think smoking should be banned in Australia?
Yes, I do. I don't think it's very good for anyone's health. And I've got a couple of little kids, and I really don't want secondhand smoke anywhere near my children.
Do you think they would cause more problems than solve?
If we ban smoking,
Yes.
I think a lot of people would need help and professional help to get past their addiction. But I think once we're past that, those people currently smoking would be fine. And stopping our children getting smoking from the start would be very beneficial.
Do you think banning smoking would become Australia's largest crime syndicate with dealings of cigarettes?
I think we've handled the black market in our previous history with alcohol and now this. I really don't think so. I think Australia could deal with it professionally. There's always going to be people there, but I think drugs are a bigger problem in the black market.
It should be banned, yes.
And why do you think so?
For the young people,
Yeah.
so they don't damage their lungs.
How long have you been smoking for?
30 years?
All right. And do you think that banning smoking would cause more problems?
I don't think.
Okay.
No.
All right. And do you reckon they would become a modern age prohibition era with cigarettes, just like with alcohol?
I don't know about that one, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But it should be, you know,
Yeah.
kept an eye on anyway. Yeah, maybe it's more education about parents and smoking in front of them, you know, all that stuff.
Do you think banning smoking, like, do you think the government would ever think of doing it with all the
No
money
way,
they get
they're
from?
making their money.
Yeah. All
We're
right.
at the bottom of the chain.
Yeah.
That can't stop.
Now it's time for the interview you've all been waiting for.
That's right, the interview with Bill Ponticus.
The interview that's been keeping you on the edge of your seats.
We interviewed Mr. Ponticus and asked him what were his opinions on whether smoking should be banned or not. Now, if you don't know, Mr. Ponticus is a council member for Oakleigh. Hey, now sit back and relax.
Enjoy the view.
And watch the interview with Mr. Ponticus.
Hello, my name is Bill Ponticus. I've been the president of the Clayton Traders for about 10 years, and just past in October I got elected in the city of Monash in the Oakleigh ward.
Okay, so do you think that smoking should be banned, and would it cause more problems than it would solve?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I don't think that you can just easily just ban the sale of cigarettes, especially when they've been out in the community for such a long time. It's not an easy process to do. I think giving these people the ability to buy smokes all this time and now to say we're going to ban it, I believe is going to cause a lot of issues for any government that's willing to be able to take a stand and to say, you know, we're going to ban the sale of cigarettes.
Do you think that it would become Australia's biggest illegal drug syndicate?
Yes, of course it would. If you were to ban the sales of cigarettes, and if for example people obviously wanted to continue to smoke, it would go underground. People would start doing it in the black market. It would cause huge issues. I'm not even sure how you would be able to patrol and keep it, it'd be just enormous. It'd be an enormous headache for anybody.
Do you think that it would become a modern age prohibition era with cigarettes just like it is with alcohol?
Okay, look, it's an interesting question. Look, I don't personally think it will go that way, that cigarettes will be banned, but could you just imagine you'd have half the police force trying to manage and keep a track of the people that are on the street if they're smoking, just like we have certain areas that are prohibited to alcohol. Look, I just don't see that working. I think that would be just something that would be just so difficult to police. No.
Do you think that the government would ever think of banning smoking given the amount of revenue and jobs that cigarettes generate?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and of course, although we know that smoking is obviously not good for your health and some of the issues that it causes in our community, but at the same token, I think the governments of the day know very clearly that cigarettes bring a lot of income through revenue, through taxes, and also it creates a lot of jobs as well. So it's a double-edged sword here, you know. On one side, the government needs to look at the health of our community, but on the other side, it looks at the revenue and the jobs it employs. So I just think in any way they go, they can't win. So I think they'd be interested in just leaving the topic alone. And sure, it might be interesting. You could probably ban smoking in public areas, in parks, in trains, in buses, stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, you've got to allow certain freedom to people to make those choices in their life.
So, if cigarettes were banned, what steps do you think the government would take to introduce the ban on cigarettes and smoking?
I think there'd have to be a national campaign, which would be very, just interesting, just to change the perception of people about smoking and that it's not acceptable anymore. That's, I'm not sure how that's going to be done, That will be very, very hard to sell that message across. And look, I think it's a huge task to do, and I just don't see that the government is going to be able to go that way. It's just very difficult to achieve, to ban it and to be able to sell that message out there.
Okay. Other states within Australia have imposed some form of statewide ban on smoking in cafes and other food areas. How long do you think it would take Victoria to catch up to the rest of Australia?
Okay, there are some states that have banned smoking, especially out in the public and in cafes, like you're saying. For myself personally, being a cafe owner and also being the president of the traders for 10 years, I think it's a good thing that we ban smoking in parks, in bus stops, on trains, in schoolyards, all that type of stuff. But I think banning smoking also in cafes and alfresco areas, I believe it's becoming very difficult. It would be very hard to monitor and to police. And also a lot of these cafe operators and restaurant owners, they've set up their premises, they've spent a lot of money to cater for people that smoke. And now to all of a sudden halfway down the track to want to change that and say, no, well, we don't care how much money you spent in your dining area to accommodate smokers, you're not going to be able to smoke anymore and we're going to take that away. I think that's not a fair thing. So I believe if you leave the restaurant owners and the cafe owners, leave it up to them, you'll find that they will find a balance. They'll find a balance where they will have a certain area for smokers and a certain area for non-smokers. And if somebody decides that it's going to be a non-smoker for all of his cafe, well, so be it. You'll find people that want to smoke won't go there, or people that want to smoke will go somewhere else. So I think you got to leave that up to them, especially that at the moment cigarettes are available. People can go and buy them, they have that choice. Yeah.
Sadly, it's that time for the end of the show.
That's right. This wonderful, awesomely
amazing,
interesting show is now finished.
Its end.
It's gone.
Demise. Death.
My name is Elijah Buckland.
I'm Zach.
We're from South Oakleigh College, and you have been watching The Voice of Melbourne.
The Voice of Melbourne.
That's right, The Voice of Melbourne, the best show on this planet. Our people our future.
Adios, amigo.
Large Muffin signing out.
Que se llama de apellido